Hello folks, this is Mike, and this is a video just to give you a little bit of insight into who I am and what I do. So the first things first is you'll notice this is, oh, there's Max. It's Max on the bed. This is my workstation right next to the bedroom, living room over there. The other work studio in here is now occupied by my partner. So this is my work area now. I have used a 3-screen setup before, but currently I'm using 2. This monitor here is also a graphics monitor, so I can draw on it with my funky stylus, but we're not gonna go through all that today. Today I just wanted to make a quick video to say, this is who I am, this is what I do. And it isn't the same as how everyone else does it. I'm certainly not, I don't consider myself a big or a YouTuber, as I've said before, in so much as I do post things on YouTube, but I feel like, you know, calling myself a YouTuber would be like pulling your own tooth out and then calling yourself a dentist. Not the same thing. So this is just kind of a quick thing to peek behind the scenes, so to speak, or to show you what I do and explain what I think, how I feel about it, and how you might relate to that. So the biggest thing is I make comics and stories. So this is my website. It's just my profile on Medium. If you go to mikegagnon.ca, it takes you here. And that's because for the time being, this serves my purposes for what I want to do, which is just to post my content in one place for people to enjoy. And I'm not monetized on Medium. I may in the future, and if I do, it'll likely be because I may start publishing some of my more adult-oriented work, adults-only work. So I'll need some sort of a barrier or a paywall for that. But for now, everything's free, and I intend to keep it running on a free basis. And you can see that my content is split up into different publications on Medium. Mike's Picks and Flicks are dedicated to my YouTube videos, collecting and reviewing and just showing off some of my favorite work from other creators and fandoms. Mike's Sketchbook will have my artwork, my sketches, my comic strips, things like that. And the Creative Commons character catalog is where I post Creative Commons content. So stuff that everyone's allowed to use, reuse. Sometimes it's characters you can use in your own stories. Sometimes it's articles. It all really depends at the moment, but that is the extent of my Medium publications. Now, how do I make this stuff? Oh, I should show you as well. Well, I'll go back to that actually. So I work in Daz. Daz is a 3D program. When I say that, I mean I visualize a lot of my prime shots and ideas and pinups and covers in Daz, because what's better reference than actually creating a 3D image version of what it is you want to create from your imagination? I'm going to get off on a tangent here, so I'm going to try and prevent myself from doing that. But I just want to say there is a misconception by some people who are not artists that using reference is cheating. It's not. Professional artists use reference all the time. In this case, I'm using 3D reference. I also work, for the time being, in Fresco. I just started using Fresco again recently. And this is an example of a panel of one of my upcoming comics that I'm working on. So again, I also work in GIMP. I also work in Inkscape. I have used the Adobe suite in the past. I don't now, just because I find their pricing models to be exorbitant and unfair and just too expensive for what I'm using them for. They don't bring me in the money that I spend on them, so I don't use them. Now, where I do bring in some income is, I meant to be over here first, this is my eBay store. This is where I curate items from my own personal collection that I make available for people. at reasonable prices. Currently, everything's on sale, and I want to explain my thinking behind this. I am just like you. I'm a fan, I'm a collector, and I also happen to create content. But for example, when we go to Mike's Picks and Flicks, I show you all the stuff that I've got in my collection. I talk about it, I share it, and that's all for free. If you want to support that because you enjoy the content, you can click buy the stuff. It'll take you right to my eBay store, and you can buy something for your own collection that comes out of my collection. And honestly, that's the best way I can think of to do it. Me personally, I'm not casting shade on anyone who does things differently, but me personally, I don't want to be selling you stuff. I don't want to sell you stuff all the time. I don't want to, even Patreon, which I've tried before, but I don't like the idea of coming to you every month and expecting a recurring payment of $5 to $10 or more every month when I don't know your financial situation. You know, might end up in a hard spot and wish you hadn't, or have to cancel. And although I appreciate all the support I get for my work, I don't want you to have to fund it or pay it up front when you might have other things going on. I don't know your situation, and I don't like to presume, and I don't want to create a situation where my content can't be enjoyed by someone because they can't afford it. So that's why I offer my own collection up for sale. If you want, if you enjoy it, if you don't even have to like my work, you don't even have to watch my videos. If you're just a collector and you want to add something to your collection from what I have to offer, that's great. And the money in that sales goes towards supporting my ability to make free content on my website like this. And I don't want what they call the parasocial relationship with you. And that's where people feel like they've built a relationship with a public figure or persona because they've bought their material, or they've bought their merchandise, or they've bought into monthly subscriptions that support them. And that's great. If that's what you do or what you like to do to help others, that's fine, and support others. But I personally just don't like that arrangement, and I don't like the idea of making you pay monthly for my continued existence. So the way I see it is we don't have to agree on anything. If I'm going to have a relationship with you, as I said, it's just me here. There's no one else. Sorry, folks, I'm a little phlegmy this morning. But it's just me. So if you message me, if you email me from any of these pages, it's me you're talking to. It's me that will respond. There's no filter. So if I email you, if I chat with you, that's an actual interaction, an actual relationship, not a parasocial one where, and parasocial, the para part is for parasite. So it's a parasitic relationship. In this case, a lot of public figures, YouTubers, content creators right now, they have a parasocial relationship with their followers because their followers are funding them. The creator is accepting those funds, and they create a false feeling of connection or relationship between them that wouldn't exist if that person wasn't continually funding their work. And that's fine. That's a fine model. But that's not what I want. That's not what I want to do. So if you enjoy my work, great. If you don't, that's fine too. If you enjoy my work and you don't ever buy anything, that's okay. That's not your worth to me. I'm not judging you based on how much money you've spent or given me to see my stuff. For example, here's one of my most recent comics, Immigration. It's 32 pages long, and you can read the whole thing for free right here. And it's about immigration, and it's about some of the stuff going on in society right now. And if that sounds interesting to you, it's done in a manga style, then check it out for free at mikegagnon.ca. And if you really like it and you really want to help and support, that's great. You can go to Mike's sketchbook and you can go to Buy My Books. And in this case, it's going to take you to a different page. This is where I have all of my books listed. So you can just buy books. You can pick a book that you're interested in. There's all different genres. For example, Orlok right now, not out yet, but the digital version will be out within the next few days. But if you check out Project Magenta, you can go to ebook or print. And when you click on print, this is my second most recent book. It's a sci-fi time travel story. And we click Get It Now. Now it'll show you where it's available in print, Barnes & Noble. We go to ebook, you've got all these other options as well. If we go to all, there you go. So there are a few different options, there's a few different retailers. And again, if you want to buy my work, that's great. And I'm not going to create a situation where you might be struggling to continue supporting my work when you're having a hard time paying your bills. So I don't want to do that. I've been there. I know what that's like. I don't want to do that to anyone else. So that's why I do things the way I do, which is if we're going to chat, if you're going to reach out to me, if you've got a question, a comment, a concern, I'm going to see it on my posts. I'm going to see it on my videos on YouTube. I'm going to see it in my inbox, and I'm going to respond to you. And whether that's good or bad, positive or negative, that's going to be an actual relationship where someone has reached out and contacted someone and the other person has responded. And it doesn't put a dollar figure on it, and it doesn't monetize your existence or your ability to support me. So if you like to support content creators, if you like the content I make, that's how you can do it with me anyway. And again, on my site, you've got links to some of my books as well. So there's lots of places you can do that. If you really enjoy the work and if you really like it and you really want to support it, that's great. And if not, that's okay too. I don't expect everyone to put out money to support my work. And anyone that does, I greatly appreciate it. And they do hear from me, and they do get bonuses, and they do get free stuff. And it's on a case-by-case basis. And I can promise that I'll make it worth your while or more if you do support my work, but I'm not going to create a situation where I'm knocking on your door every month trying to get money out of you to continue enjoying my work. Anyway, this has gone on longer than I intended. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon in the real. Have a great day.